Hey guys, so today we're gonna do a breakdown of one of my most popular tracks, which is Rainbow Cloud. Now, this is a future bass break style track that I've produced over a few months, and I just wanted to show you guys how I did it and like more solely on the behind the scenes. So let's get started. Alright, so basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play it throughout from the start and explain each part on how I did that. So the song starts with the chords. I love these chords. I mean, I'm so proud of them. Honestly, I didn't start the song with the chords. I started with a lead first, a melody. But what I did, I got that melody and I placed it on. I got the chords from the melody rather. And then I just tried not searching, or rather experimenting with jazz chords. So you could see here, they're just mainly jazz chords, but here I made 2 octaves of them so it would sound good. But this is basically a B, G, E, and C. And it's just on massive, if I recall correctly. Yes, it's massive. I just created a simple patch. It's just a square saw. Just 3 square saws, 3 oscillators. One is 1 octave higher, one is 1 octave lower, and one is just on the first octave. So if you play a sound, this is how it sounds like. But if you play them in chords, it sounds amazing. Now, if you play this in, of course, Rainbow Cloud's chords, yeah, that's where most of the song is now centered on the chords, actually. But I started again the song with the lead. Now, besides the chords, there's nothing else except this playground effect that I got online. Oh wait, no, hold on. It's just a playground. I got it on YouTube, and I just fade it out until the build, so that the build is much more quiet and more centered around the chords. There, it just fades out. That's it. And this is basically it on the first part. But it sounds so good. I feel proud of this, honestly. Then the drums come in, as well as together with the arpeggiators. Something that I always love to add in my songs, if you've noticed, are arps or arpeggiators. Basically, they're just notes going down in like a chord progression. So this is my arpeggiator here. Basically, I just EQ'd it in such a way where it's just the mid and the high ends. Most of the low end is gone. See, if you notice, I cut that off. So it sounds good. It sounds bad alone, but if it goes with the song, it would sound good. Basically, these are just the same notes used here. Same notes. I just did an arpeggiator. Then a basic drum beat, just a kick, hat, snare, hat. Basic break beat. Actually, on the first part, it's just 1 kick and then 4 frames. 4 bars rather. Then another kick here. Just the start, basically. And the hats that I've EQ'd here, where are they? Over here. I just got the high end. See? Actually, these are house hats. I've used house hats. Yeah, a house hat in breaks track rather. Anyways, that's mostly on the beat. It's just a really basic beat, honestly. And side chaining. I just did the old style side chaining. I don't know why. I didn't use Fruity Pick controller, which I usually do. But just a classic side chain that goes with the snares. There you go. Yeah. Besides the chords and the arp and it's still the same thing. Except I have a little sound effect here. Most of my packs are from Vengeance. And I just reversed that. That was just And this sound effect. This is what mostly shapes Rainbow Cloud on your subconscious mind. You wouldn't realize it, but this is played around the entire track multiple times. It's played multiple times, but you only get to hear it actually in the ending, which is over here. After it goes like this. Yeah. Anyways, so from the intro, after these 8 bars, it would transition into the first melody. Actually, it's basically just the entire melody of the entire song. But instead of this drop lead here, it starts with a harmony lead. It's actually 3 layers. I've made 3 layers. The first one is this one over here. Okay, what this have? Oh wait, yeah, okay. There we go. And then I just made this pitch LFO go up, so it would create some vibrato. Then I did similar thing with the lead number 2. Except this is phaser. So it gives it a bit more detail, or I forgot the term, but you get it. And the third lead. Yeah, so basically these are just 3 leads that I put together into one layer. Now, a thing about the melody. Honestly, these are one of the songs where I started with completely no idea in mind. As in, I just literally put some random notes. Then as I started creating the shape, I just realized that this actually turned out to be one of my best melodies yet. Honestly, a friend of mine just recommended me that I should try breakbeat. And then I said, I don't wanna because I'm used to future bass. But he was like, just try. So I tried this, future bass. Then I tried putting a breakbeat over it. Then I ended up making this amazing song. But anyway, here's the melody. It's just basically a melody that goes up, down, and then it just goes on this B part. I love this note. And then it just goes down again, then up, then down. Yeah, it's just basically that. And that goes out through 8 bars again, with the chords and the arpeggiator and the drums. Okay, I forgot I soloed this track. Just does that until this part. Then over here, this is where the fun starts to begin. I mean, sure, it's fun on the start, but the real fun is coming here. Comes in here rather. Now here's a trap lead. It's actually a trap lead that I've used. Honestly, it's a preset, but it's good. Anyway, it's a Serum preset. It's a detuned trap lead that I got. And this is how it sounds like. Okay, wait. The cut off. Let me just move here. These are usually used for trap songs. But if you put it into some happy, joyful melody, it just changes everything. That's the beauty about this. And I placed a glitch over this. The blue glitch over here. Hold on. It's turned off here. Let me just switch that on. There we go. There we go. It's just a gator and a tape stop. Those 2 glitches make it sound so different. Because without this glitch, this is how it sounds like. It's just that. And oh, by the way, it's still the same melody, although I made some slides so that it would go well with the lead. The slides make it a lot different. those slides are basically what makes this song catchy in a way. The chords, the slides, and the lead and the melody, and the bass line. I'll show you the bass line and the drop later. So basically what I did on the build up is basically just the same arpeggiators, chords, and nothing else, but I have this lead melody, the same lead, I mean the drop lead rather, and I just got this EQ going so that it builds up over here, the EQ. There we go. That's why it fades in and sounds amazing. Yeah, I'm out of tune. I should stick to producing EDM, not singing. And then, so the build is very basic actually. This is probably one of my most basic builds I've ever made. I mean, in my recent songs, but my old songs are more basic. But anyway, just a kick, then a kick, and a kick. Then there's the interesting part. Honestly, I got some inspiration from Pegbird Nerd's Go Berserk. I can't play that because I'll get copyright. But you should check the build up on the last few parts. But here are the snares. Basically, I just moved the kick here and the snares here. Then double snare. Then that's it. That made my build up rather very catchy. Well, at least in my opinion and opinions of my friends. But here it is. Side chaining going on here. And on the snares, it's just a little side chain. And for the sound effects, just basic Vengeance packs. Oh yeah, I have this chimes going on. I've had this chime since my old songs in the past. And until now, it's still in my songs. And this one. Oh yeah, a sub drop. And one of my favorite sound effects. And here we have, yeah, that's mostly it in the build up. But we have this EQ that takes most of the low end so that it would make the drop hit harder. That's a technique I've learned before. Here's the EQ on the master, so it takes out the low end. If you notice here. Actually, let me play it before the drop. You could notice it here. Hold on, my mouse is lagging. Okay. You could notice it here. Let me just go back to the EQ. There. There, you could notice how the EQ is slowly going up. Kick snare, kick snare, kick snare, kick snare, kick. Okay, so now the drop. Now basically the drop is practically the same as the intro, except I have a sub bass here for the bass line. It's just basically the bottom of the chords that I've got. It's just over here. Hold on, my wireless mouse battery died. Let me just fix it real quick. Okay, I'm back. I'm so sorry. That was the worst time for my wireless mouse battery to die. Yeah, I know it's a wireless mouse, but that's my setup. Anyway, back to the song. It's just basically a basic sub bass, sine wave rather, from Nexus. Yes, it's a preset. I use a lot of presets in my songs. Just a basic sine that I've EQ'd down for the sub, and I've raised this up. Just a basic EQ. And this is what makes it catchy. Believe it or not, in most songs, it's the bass line that makes the song catchy. Just like in some songs like Havana by Camila Cabello. However, whatever the name is. Basically, it's just the bass line of that song that goes... Okay, basically, it's just the bass line that makes it catchy. Most of the time. So, here's the bass line. And with the chords... There we go. And that's what makes it catchy. Then I just have this basic breakbeat going. It's just a classic breakbeat and my same hats, and that's about it. And actually, sorry, what actually makes the drop catchy, or rather full in a way, are lots of sound effects. I just have so much crashes and cymbals here going on. Just crashes, uplifters and downlifters, all going in the background. And then it's all sound, it just all crashes. Oh, there I have my wind chime. And after the first 4 bars, you could hear this in the song. That's just me basically doing that classic old trick where you remove the bass for a while in a section so that the excitement continues. It's like it holds the excitement, then it continues it. But what I did, instead of removing the sub completely, I have this fart bass. I don't know what you exactly call it, but it's just basically an oscillator on what do you call this? There. I just made this on 3XO oscillator. Actually, on my first version of the song, I used this as the bass line, and it sounds really bad. I could actually show you my first version of the song later, once I'm done with everything. But basically, this is how it sounds like. I just cut a portion of it. Originally, this was actually the bass line of the song. But I noticed that it sounded bad, so I just cut it and just put it on this part. So that's mostly it. The sub just goes, and the sound effect here and here. Very small sound effects would be unnoticeable, but it makes a subconscious impact. That's a technique in music where it sounds like something's missing, but if you add this, you wouldn't notice it's there, but it makes a whole lot of difference. Now imagine the song without these sound effects and this fart bass. Now listen to the first 8 bars. See? It sounds so blank. It just like sounds like something's missing. So if you add a fart bass, the name though, and some sound effect, and another sound effect, very small details. It's all about that. So it goes like that for the first 8 bars. Then it goes here where I have a vocal chop from Persona 4 before the feature bass part comes in. Now that's steady. Honestly, I don't really know Persona 4. I just ask a friend if they know any video game characters that actually sound like Mario in a way and sound joyful. So they recommended this, and I researched all of the sounds. It took me about an hour to find the right samples. Then I just got this. And it makes one whole impact, actually. Another subconscious impact before the second part. So if you notice in this part. Also, by the way, that was my glitching. Once you start on other places, it would get out of sync. But yeah. Anyways, on the second part of the drop, this is the exciting part of Rainbow Cloud. It's basically the same chords, except on Super Sauce. This is what I'm mostly proud of. I mean, I keep saying that, but it's still the same chords if you notice, but the layering is different. There are 2 layers. The Super Saw. This is a Harmer sample rather. And I've added a pitch bend. Yeah, there. That's why you notice it goes like wow, wow, wow. Okay, that sounds so cringy. But This is the high pitched part, the higher octave one, and the second one is the lower octave. Oh wait, I'm wrong. Okay, oh yeah, one is higher pitched, the other one is, they're the same octave. And when you put them in a layer and put one more on a lower octave, so same thing. And I just placed an LFO on the volume, and that's why it goes up and down. Now for the EQing on that, I just actually placed the sausage pattern, not too much, except on the color where I made it 100. It saturates it in a way. Here's how it sounds like without sausage fattener. And this is with sausage fattener. Makes a whole lot of difference. Then I put a love filter for the second part of the drop. That's when it goes in. Then the EQ, I just removed the low end. Then I didn't do any fancy EQing. That's it. I just removed the low end. Now after that first part, still the same sub, still the same everything. Everything is still the same. Same lead. Except here, on this part, that's why it sounds like a super saw solo. Or like where it's just, like the melody's gone and it's just the chords. I actually have this running in the background. Again, subconscious detail, but it makes a whole lot of difference. It makes it sound more professional in a way, because it's like you're blending all the things together. Just fades in slowly until this part. And then it's completely gone. Just this part. Okay, my PC is lagging. Okay, that's so bad. Anyway, that's mostly it. Then this part, I just took the same parts, except removed the lead and just the chords. Now it's an actual chord solo. Then it goes to this part, where it's basically like the breakdown or like the bridge. I forgot what you call it. And my favorite sample. I usually use this in my dramatic songs like Time Will Come in Better World. You should check it out, by the way. It's just this orchestral impact that I got from Deli FB, if you know him. He's a future bass, mostly on future bass, a future bass producer. And this is how it sounds like. And again, I told you, there's that sample again. Then a wind chime. Then some crashes and yeah. Then here. Then here. Yep. That's how it mostly sounds like. This part. And here's where I talk about, here's what I said earlier with the love filter. It's just for the fade out for the second drop. There we go. And that fades in together with the leads over here. And my RAM can't handle it, the CPU rather. Then the arpeggiators. Then just the sound effects. And then this is the best part of Rainbow Cloud, the second drop. All I did was take the exact same things, but changed the beat and added another octave. Check this out. Okay, let me just play it without the chords, because it's lagging. All I did was take the kicks of the first one, remove the hats, and remove the snares. So it takes the tension from the second drop. Second octave, a higher octave, that's all I did. Same thing. The exact same lead, I just copied and pasted it and placed another octave. Then this riser. Then of course, what's his name again? Teddy. The exact same sample, that's all. Same things. And arpeggiator, the exact same thing. It just goes on a lower octave. Then that repeats, except in another high octave. Then the fade out. fart bass. And then the favorite sample. That's mostly it, honestly. This was a rather basic song that honestly a lot of people love, and I never knew this would be actually one of my best songs. A lot of people love this song, and I've actually played this in school multiple times, because as in on events like Christmas parties, and a lot of people doesn't even seem to realize that I was the one who created the song. I mean, sure, a lot of people know, but there's still a lot of people who didn't know that it was mine, and I even had some classmates who danced to it. Yeah, I'm really proud of this song. Now, everything here is just the same, but I have one more thing to add. The drums. It's another small detail that you wouldn't notice much, but basically on this first part, with drop, just going back, it's just going kick, the classic breakbeat. But on the future bass part, I like to call it that because it sounds like future bass. Basically, the kick, what I did was move the kicks to go with the chords. Every time the chord starts here, one chord starts, there's a kick. Except this part because it's the snare, and then kick, kick, kick. Oh, no, that's the snare. I'm sorry. Kick, kick, then snare. That's what I did. Because if you notice on the previous one, kick. It's just a hat. There's no kick here. Small details. It's all about the small details that matter. Now that's mostly it. Arpeggiators, sound effects, everything. Mastering. The mastering. I mean, EQing rather. Then I just have this 27. What do you call these? Mixer tracks. That's what I had mostly. It's just it. That's just it. That's the entire track, and that's it. But since I promised you that I'll show you the first version, here's the first version, and it's very, very ugly. And you'll hate it. Honestly, I was this close to actually canceling this track, like how I canceled probably 150 tracks. I usually cancel tracks when I see it doesn't have any potential, but I just tried to do this more. But here's the first version, and it's so ugly. First of all, the chords, again, I told you, right? The chords start with lead. I got the chords from the melody, rather. And since these aren't jazz chords, by just looking at this, you can already tell it sounds bad. But here's how it sounds like. Oh, wait, by the way, there's no sound effects or any ambient here, so it sounds very, very plain. Here you go. It sounds so bad. It's the exact same patch I had. It's just with different chords. And get ready for the melody. This was one of my old leads. Hold on. Sorry, I had colds. Here's one of my first leads, and it sounds really. Remember how I had 3 layers a while ago? The second layer was the phaser one, and this one I just had 1 layer. I think yes, it's only 1 layer, and it was entirely the phaser. So it sounds so bad. And what I did was take the chords, the top layer of the chords, then built it on that. So this is how it sounds like, and it's so bad. Believe it or not, but at that time I was like, whoa, it's so amazing. But now I'm like, ew. Then here's the lead. And these are plain samples. Now this one, actually the glitch a while ago that I showed you, the one that goes like wah, that was actually an accident. Because remember how I told you how glitches where it goes off beat when you start wrong. So I actually accidentally made it off beat, then it sounded bad. But this is actually how it originally sounded like. It's just plain. And there's the fart bass that I'm talking about. I had actually 3 basses rather. A distorted sub, This is the exact distorted sub I use in my electro house tracks, like Better World in Time Will Come. Fart bass. It actually made it sound kind of unique than sub bass. Chords. Here it is. Then here's the second part of the drop, where it's actually the best part in Rainbow Cloud, but this is actually the worst part on this version. What I did was chop the leads and added a random glitch to make it sound glitchy, but it just sounded like some glitchy trash. Sounds like complete trash. There, you could see it's complete and random. Lead, chords, lead 3. Then actually what I did was just copy and paste the intro. Then to the second part, I still had the same kicks. Oh, what I did here, I didn't layer it. I just brought it up an octave. I didn't have 2 octaves playing, only 1 octave. Then there's the unchopped. Then it goes back here. Drums. Yeah, that was the first version, which I made back in 2017, September 6. Yeah, that was so ugly. I only took 4 hours, and this is how it sounds like. It was so ugly. I didn't even make this well. Actually, the kick and snare are different, if you notice. Actually, hold on. No, actually, they're... Did I change it? Oh yeah, and on the build, I didn't have that snare. The dubstep snare that I use in a lot of my tracks. But yeah, that's entirely the first version, which is very ugly. Anyways, that's about it. This is my first time making a breakdown video of one of my tracks, and I'm probably gonna make a lot of these soon in the future. And I hope you could learn a thing or two from this and actually get inspired. Honestly, most of how I learned these tracks, or how to make these kind of tracks, are actually also from fellow producers who show their breakdown too. I just learn from them and get inspired from them, even though they're also bad. No, not bad, but rather, they're also almost the same level as me. I get inspired and learn from them and try to make my own style from them. That's what I learn, and hopefully you could actually get inspired by me too, and as well as learning a thing or two from me. Just wanted to show that. Anyways, time for my usual outro. If you like this video, you know how the like button works, and it would be great if you could follow me on Facebook, SoundCloud, and Twitter, as well as subscribing to my channel on YouTube. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.